welcome to Wired News. I'm Emily Sperduto.
And I'm Ryan Tedesco. We're reporting to you live from the Disneyland Resort at the beautiful Rainforest Cafe of Anaheim, California, the site of this year's Student Television Network Convention.
We're here in sunny Southern California until Saturday, and then back home live from the East Coast on Monday. I'll tell you what, Ryan, I'm just happy to get away from that snow back in New Jersey. They're expecting more later this week, and I'm glad we're getting away here in Anaheim.
Exactly. No better place to wait out that winter weather. So, as you all know, everything in Disneyland is done on a grand scale. Today, we'll be confronting problems adolescents face on a different scale.
But first, let's go down to downtown Disney with Mary Beery and check out the weather for today. How's it looking down there, Mary? Are we avoiding the snow they're expecting back home?
The skies have been clear, with a little more clouds tapering in later this afternoon. Tomorrow should be equally as nice, with a high of 64. And back to you, Emily.
Thanks, Mary. It's common knowledge that teenagers are under a lot of pressure. From school to sports to work, this stress can become overwhelming. But for some of us, these concerns take a backseat to something that can often prove dangerous: their weight. Wire News Chief Health Correspondent Liam McCabe has more.
I cut 20 pounds in 3 weeks.
Do you find this startling? Unfortunately, in the world of wrestling and many other sports, this extreme weight loss is far from unusual.
I lost the weight by, first of all, eating less. Portion control was a big thing. Some days not even eating at all. I went a couple days in a row without eating. Another thing was, practicing every day with sweats on. So I sweat more I lose more water weight. I don't think cutting weight is a good idea at all. For wrestling, everyone does it, it's inevitable. But from a health standpoint, by no means do I think it's a good idea.
Eric's right. According to registered nurse Frances Scheck of Wellness Design in Anaheim, California, weight watching, though often healthy, can sometimes prove extremely dangerous.
Lifestyle changes, it means that, you try to focus on what's wrong with you, what kind of food makes you fat, and in terms, look at food that makes you slim. So I think kids should have a decent life where they don't think that much about weight, but think about what is good for them ultimately.
You have to know what's healthy and what's smart, and it's about you performing at your best and feeling your best.
I think the pressure from the opposite sex, where their looks become important.
Body image is, I think, like a horrible thing because everybody thinks they have to have like a certain type of body.
I have my own standard of what I want to be. If I get past that, then yeah, I'll start working out more. But I'm usually the bare minimum is what I'm comfortable with.
What is the lifestyle that they want? If you just, I gain half a pound, I lose half a pound, it's not important.
I'm happy with my body image. I don't have a problem with it. And everybody else can think what they want to think, but I'm happy with myself and it doesn't really matter.
I think it's more about being maximally fit than it is, having the least fat on your body or something. Definitely get protein in, the right type of carb. Obviously, fishes are always good. You get your omega-3s and whatnot. And red meat's good for iron because a lot of athletes really need a higher iron level.
So if you have this kind of conscientiousness and do the lifestyle changes, it'll be just fine. I think the scale will be not so important. It's only important if you want to know for yourself.
And now we're joined here in the studio by Liam McCabe. So tell me, Liam, what's the general consensus on these health problems from the people that you've spoken to?
Well, Emily, based on the people that I've talked to, everyone's taking this issue very seriously. Weight loss, especially for athletes, is something that's really pushed and a really important part of their training, especially for wrestlers. The entire wrestling community realizes that there's a problem and there is danger involved in this constant strive to lose weight and to just make your weight class. So it's something that's not being taken lightly by the sporting community, and it's something that everyone is really very concerned about.
And what's being done to try and combat these problems?
The important thing is education for the athletes. Back in 1997, 3 wrestlers actually died just towards the end of the year over a 6-month period. Some of them died on the treadmill just working out of heart attacks. It was a very serious time, and that kind of spurred a lot of discussion about smarter ways to lose weight for wrestling. So since then, the emphasis has been on education for the athletes so that they are smart in the way that they train and that area. The other thing is that nutrition is now being a major part of the education in health courses and whatnot in high schools, where, Michelle Obama, actually, the First Lady, is really pushing this new program to make sure that nutrition is understood by students and that, high school lunches are providing the right amount of food and making sure that everyone is being healthy, including athletes like wrestlers. So it's really just a lot of safeguards being in place and a lot of education for the athletes.
All right, Liam, keep us posted. Ryan?
Thanks, Emily. And now we're joined live via satellite feed by Sarah Wallach, a senior writer and columnist of the Inkblot newspaper. Sarah has written extensively about nutrition, diets, and her own battles with anorexia and body dysmorphia. Sarah is speaking to us this morning from Wall Township, New Jersey. Good morning, Sarah. Now, how do you think teenagers' body images, both male and female, are affected by society?
Well, all teenagers, male and female, have this idea in their heads that they're supposed to look a certain way, and they try to do anything that they can in some cases to achieve that. And it's most of the time through unhealthy means.
Now, you're very open about your struggle with anorexia and body dysmorphia. Do you think you can tell us what you went through?
I was a little overweight, and I took it to an extreme and really wanted to get skinny and fast. What I started doing was biking every day for an hour and eating less. And then I added to my workout routine from doing kickboxing and dancing, and then going on the elliptical for another hour, and doing a bunch of ab workouts and lifts, and then going from eating 3 meals a day to eating 1.5 meals a day.
Now, when you were your skinniest and least healthy, what was it like for you to look down at those numbers on that scale?
For me to get on the scale, and I did every day at the same time, it was a challenge and a triumph. I enjoyed getting on the scale to see those numbers disappearing really quickly. But then, if I had a day where I was in school and I had a cookie and I was up a pound, I wanted so badly to run 6 miles. I felt guilty for eating.
And one last question, Sarah. What can we do to prevent things like this from happening? I mean, what needs to be done to stop this awful cycle in society?
Well, right now I think there's a really good movement, the Dove movement, to show people that women come in all shapes and sizes, but I also feel that it has to be recognized. You have to, friends, family, teachers, adults have to see it, because it's there. And they have to realize that they have to do something about it when they see people saying, oh, I just want to lose 5 pounds, and then they lose that 5, and then they lose 10. There's a problem, and you have to recognize that.
All right, Sarah, thank you so much for your time. Emily?
Very powerful story. Thanks, Ryan. Since our arrival here in Anaheim, Wire News has received several reports of the lack of healthy, affordable restaurant choices right here in the surrounding area of Disneyland. And in a society with such severe cases of both anorexia and obesity, these cheap, healthy nutrition choices are extremely important. So earlier today, I went out to see what wholesome, budget-compatible choices are available right here in downtown Disney. What I found may surprise you. Tourists visiting Disneyland have to pay more than just a pretty penny for any meal. Let's go take a look at some of the restaurants down in downtown Disney and look at some of the prices for your daily meals. While this under 200-calorie Jamba Light smoothie may seem like a quick, cheap, and nutritional breakfast, in reality, this 16-ounce, $5 smoothie just may not satisfy your appetite. Coming from New Jersey, a $2 slice of pizza is commonplace, but here at Napolini in downtown Disney, 2 slices of pizza will run you $10 plus. An average price for a well-prepared dinner here at Jazz Kitchen will run you about $22. And on my $30 budget for an entire day, that just doesn't cut it. To make sure it wasn't just my inner cheapskate talking, I went to speak with a few other STN competitors to find out what they think of the food prices at Disneyland. At your stay here at Disneyland, what's your budget for one day for food?
I would say around $40.
We have $40 for each day, and we had to pay for it. It was included in the whole trip.
I usually try and stay under about $30, kind of go about, with everything being here about $8 or $9, I try and stay about $10 a meal, so I don't want to go anything over $30.
What's your opinion on the restaurants available? Do you find them to meet your needs? Are they nutritional, or are they basically just overpriced junk food?
It's pretty much overpriced junk food. I mean, that's all there is here.
Some of it's good food, but it's not very nutritional at all.
Yeah, it's mostly grease and other crap.
I think that's what they want to attract kids.
I definitely think that it's overpriced, but I think that they have a good variety of stuff. I think like the place I ate at today, they had the choice of fries or apples, so I think they're kind of providing options. So it's definitely overpriced, but I think they're kind of watching the nutrition part of it.
All things considered, when it comes to eating in Disneyland, if you're scaled down on your budget, then you'll pay for it later on your scale.
And that's all your news for today. But be sure to tune in tomorrow for our continuing coverage of the STN competition in Anaheim, California.
From all of us here at Wired News, thanks for watching. What?